Hello dear students, welcome back to this video lecture and I am Vikram Kharade and in this video lecture I am going to discuss Government of Karnataka English First Language 10th Standard Part 1. As you have clicked on this video and you are watching this video, what I am going to speak about Part 1 that is important. This video is not only for any prose or poem. I am not going to teach or explain any prose unit or any poetry unit like here are the contents. You can see in part 1 there are 5 prose and 5 poems. There are 2 non-details. I am here to guide you how to study part 1. As you know that you have 2 parts. Your English textbook is divided into part 1 and part 2. Total 10 prose units, 10 poems and 3 non-details. This is the syllabus of SSLC. Now, part 1 is important. The reason the prose are The Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise by Rabindranath Tagore, The Elixir of Life by C.V. Raman, The Gift of Magi O. Henry, Louis Pasteur, Conqueror of Disease, E. H. Carter, What is Moral Action by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And there are 5 poems, To a Pair of Sarus Cranes, Manmohan Singh. Abraham Lincoln's letter, Abraham Lincoln himself he has written. Vachana, very important poem by Baswanna, and Lochinvar, Walter Scott. And the last one is A Poison Tree by William Blake. You might be thinking why I am discussing in one video only all these units. As earlier I told, I am not going to explain, just I am going to guide you. What is the study plan for these units for part 1? What units, what prose are important, what is the weightage, which poems are important, and what is the weightage and marking scheme I am going to explain. Dear students, Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise is very important lesson. From this lesson, reference to the context from this lesson, reference to the context repeatedly asked in all the examinations of board, and question answers are also asked, like Ariel messenger brought wrong man in workers paradise. In the workers paradise, the people of the paradise or the workers, they were busy all time in their work. No single second was wasted. But wrong man, a person who is also known as beggar, as idler, these all words are for wrong man only. Man entered and he changed that workers' paradise. There was a girl in workers' paradise was influenced by wrong man. She was surprised and amazed by his art, and most of the work remain incomplete, unfinished because of this girl and because of this man, and the busy paradise became idle paradise. That's why the the elders of workers paradise became anxious and they called a meeting, and there Ariel messenger accepted that he has done a big mistake, and that his mistake was he brought wrong man in workers paradise. Wrong man as well as girl were thrown out from that workers paradise. This is a story very important. This lesson is also very important. Elixir of life, the gift of Magi, Louis Pasteur, conqueror of disease, is very important because from this lesson, I am talking about Louis Pasteur. From this lesson, I have seen most of the question papers, previous exam question papers. From Louis Pasteur, 4 marks question is fixed asked, and reference to the context is also repeatedly asked from this lesson. What are bacteria? What is rabies? And how did Louis Pasteur proved the idea of immunity? All the experiments of Louis Pasteur are asked repeatedly in the examination. The elixir of life by C.V. Raman also has importance. From this lesson, many questions have been asked, reference to the context, answer in one sentence, answer in two sentences, answer in 3 to 4 sentences. Like these questions are asked from this lesson, like according to writer, what is the real elixir of life, and what are the causes of soil erosion, what is the main cause of soil erosion. So these questions are asked again, and 4 marks question also in some of the examination or previous examination it was asked, and the question was that according to CV Raman, how or what is the real elixir of life, or how did CV Raman prove that water is the real elixir of life. So these types of questions have been asked. Read the lesson carefully, try to understand the paragraphs, try to relate the phrases and the explanation, new words as well as I'm telling you. And some students, what are they doing? They depend on the question answers which are provided by the teachers. But have you studied the last year's, previous year's papers? Dear students, in all the examinations, direct questions are not asked. Indirectly questions are asked which are based on your comprehension, your interpretation. This is the very important, and middle questions are also asked. So reading textbook will help you to attempt any difficult question. Let's move forward to the gift of Magi by O. Henry. Very important lesson. The story of Jim and Della. And in this reference to the context also repeatedly asked for 3 marks, and uh, who were the Magi, and why did Della decided to sell her hair, and what did Della buy for Jim, and what did Jim buy for Della? What were the most uh, precious possessions of Jim and Della? How the Della is compared to lady and the schoolboy. Even in the lesson, the description of combs is also important. So, this lesson, the gift of Magi, the elixir of life, the Louis Patcher, all these three important lessons are there in part 1. Let's discuss about what is moral action by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. I am really glad to tell you what is moral action is one of the best lessons in your textbook, because lesson has weightage also. If you are studying for marks, definitely it is important, but this lesson will help you to lead your life, how to live our life. So this question, this what is moral action, also you have to read properly. Let's move forward without wasting time. Poetry. Poetry has equal weightage. Here are the 5 poems to a pair of stars screen by Manmohan Singh and Abraham Lincoln's letter. These 2 poems are very very important, dear students, as 4 marks question and 2 marks question, even 3 marks questions are asked on this. Abraham Lincoln's letter is very important, and if you study the poem, do not study the poem only, go for the summary of the poem, and even I suggest you to find out the all the values which are taught in this poem. As per my knowledge, Abraham Lincoln's letter, this poem has a 13 to 14 values. The values which are very very important for human being. The values which father wants to teach his son, those all 13 to 14 values are very important. Those values you have to make the list, and then you study Abraham Lincoln's letter. I am talking about now Vachana, Lochinvar and a Poison Tree. These 3 poems are very interesting and has a weightage, because everyone knows, every student of SSLC knows that Vachana, Lochinvar and a Poison Tree, these 3 poems are for quote from memory memorization purpose. Quote from memory is for 4 marks in your paper, and from part 1 only all these 3 poems will be asked. From part 2 no poem will be asked for quote from memory. So as Vachana, Lochinvar and a Poison Tree, these 3 poems are there, and you might have seen the question papers, and you know also the paper pattern. 2 poems will be asked in for board examination. 2 means options or 2 available. From that 2 you have to attempt only one. So if you go for Vachana, Vachana is very easy poem to by heart, to memorize it. Yes, no? So what is the poem? Vachana. If you by heart or if you memorize Vachana, and if you memorize a Poison Tree, I suggest you to memorize those 2 poems only. Don't go for Lochinvar, because Lochinvar is very lengthy and very difficult poem for memorization. Anyhow, if you by heart Vachana and a Poison Tree, one poem 100% surely I am telling you will be asked. So Vachana has, it is a very simple and short poem. So you can by heart Vachana, and you can by heart a Poison Tree. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. Such a wonderful poem by William Blake. You can buy at Poison Tree and Vachana. Go for it. memorize it. It is for 4 marks and it is compulsory question. So after that I would like to tell you about Lochinvar by Walter Scott. As I told you, it will be asked for code form memory, but some questions are also asked like who was Lochinvar? Very important question. Who was Lochinvar? Very very important question. Or what are the adjectives used for Lochinvar in the poem? All the adjective like young Lochinvar, brave Lochinvar, or gallant Lochinvar, or dauntless Lochinvar, or faithful Lochinvar, or Lord Lochinvar. Some adjectives are used. Yes, brave. So these adjectives are also important. Lochinvar's qualities are important, and sometimes 4 marks question also might be asked. I'm talking about Lochinvar. How did Lochinvar win Ellen finally? So whole summary you can read. You have to study the summary. Then only you can write this type of answers. So Vachana and poison tree you by heart it as a quote from for the quote from memory for memorization. Lochinvar you do study all the rhyming words you by heart. Figures of speech also are important. From all the poems, figures of speech are important because it is asked in MCQ and non-detail. Dear students, non-detail in part 1 actually Treasure Island and Karna. The weightage for non-detail is 7 marks. Treasure Island and Karna both non-details are very lengthy. In Treasure Island so many characters are there. Their relation, their characterization and the story itself is very lengthy and difficult to understand. But summary you can read and that summary will help you. Question answers also you can read because from Treasure Island and Karna, indirect questions will not be asked. Direct questions will be asked, which questions are there after the lesson, after the story. Those direct questions will be asked. But in the poetry and in the prose section, some direct questions and some indirect questions will be asked. Middle questions, I am talking about middle questions, which are a little twisted based on your comprehension and understanding level. So that's why I would like to suggest you to read the textbook thoroughly and carefully. Reading textbook only will help you to score good marks. If you are going for only question answers, those questions answers will not help you at all, I am telling you. For today's video, I think this is sufficient. I hope you will like this video which I have made to guide you, to give you study plan of part 1. I have started already grammar series. There I am going to discuss all the grammar with MCQs, rewrite as directed, word relationships. Yet, if you have not subscribed my channel, kindly do subscribe my channel and share to your friends. This is Vikram Kharade. Thank you very much.